Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of GBear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. We're looking at my little sluice box here. I'm getting ready to clean it out, and I'm going to drain the bucket here and put a spout drain on the end here so that I can just connect the garden hose to that and run the water off whenever I need to. And I'll save that water and just use it for irrigation. You see a little bit of soap suds in here. That's because I put a little bit of dishwashing liquid, Dawn especially, just maybe a half a teaspoon in there, but it does foam up a little bit. And that's a surfactant to help the water be a little bit wetter, so it works a little bit better for me. I also saved this years ago. I saved this screen from it's a filter screen from a clothes dryer, and I like to leave that at the end here and catch everything that runs off so I can check it out before I dump it. And it also keeps it out of getting into the water and getting into the impeller of my pump and that stuff. So it makes the water last longer by doing it this way. And I can take that out and after I check into it and use my magnifier, make sure there's nothing in there that I want, I'll just throw that away or pile it up in a pile because it's good sand. Anyway, I want to show you some of the other things I've been doing today. I've been working on the ore cart here, and I got my metal detector, my good one, up there now, and I've been out using that. But I added a deep cycle battery and a PWM controller from Windy Nation. It's one of the ones I got with one of the solar panels I bought. It's only a little 20 amp unit, but it works great. And I've got, you see the two wires coming up and punched through right there. Those are connected onto the load side. So I can hit a switch and turn those on when I want to. And I've got those sticking through on the other side. I'll show you that in a minute. And then I can connect my 12 volt pump to that and use it. I also have my 12 volt connections up there in my plastic box. And I added a trailer connector to that, and the trailer connector will also come down and come inside of here, and I'll be able to use the power off of the ATV to run things out in the trailer if I have to, like my sluice box and things like that. Right now I haven't got the wires in, but there's the positive and negative connectors. I didn't have red, but fluorescent orange works just as good. And then I put a hook here to hang both my gold pans that I use. I got the big one and the small one there, both hanging on the hook. And then I got my classifier hanging back here, and I made some hooks for my shovel. So my shovel will go in there. And I'm going to put a spring-loaded pull pin on here so I can pull it back to take the shovel out, and then it'll go back in like that, so that won't bounce out of there if I'm going over some rough terrain. That's a couple of the things I did, and it looks like it's getting into shape here. Now, also I finished up Andy's and my scoop-sifters. As you can see, they got all the holes drilled in them, and there are names on them already. So I painted the inside silver and the outside's gold. So those are ready to go. And get my water out of there while I'm remembering it. I also got one of those magnetic toolbars from Harbor Freight. I think I'm going to put that in here. But tomorrow I'll work on getting a wood box around the electrical there, and then it'll have a seat on top, so if necessary and somebody wants to ride in the back here, they can sit on that seat, and all of the electrical will be protected underneath it, so if we hit some rain or something like that, it won't go directly into my electrical. All right, well, that's about all I've got for today. The girls were out earlier running around, but they ate their fill of greens. There's a lot of mustard greens around here, and they were getting into those. Wind's been blowing all day long. My dump load has been heating up my battery room, and as it got warmer in there, it just basically raised the pH of my batteries, and my batteries got a better charge. Of course, the geoengineers are doing their job here, streaking this whole place out. I guess they were a little upset that their prediction for rain didn't come like they said it would. Although I saw on the news this morning that down the hill, LA and Long Beach and those places were all getting some rain. Well, anyway, I'm going to pack it up in here and go inside and get warmed up a little bit. It's really starting to chill out pretty quick right now, and I don't like the cold. Oh yeah, there's one other thing I forgot here. I had this suitcase 15 amp solar panel. It actually folds up, and then you can put it away. So I had a couple more of those brackets that I made the hooks out right there for the trailer, and I put them on here. So now I can just turn these sideways, and I can pull this right off of there, or I can lock it back in again so that it won't fall off. And that goes into the controller in there. So I get solar charge coming in and keeping my battery charged inside of here. And that's a battery I got from my friend Vince. Somebody had thrown it out at the place that he goes to all the time, and he picked it up and figured I could use it for a core. Well, I saw one of these guys, John something, on the YouTube, was bringing them back to life by a little process of adding Epsom salts to all the cells, and that was a sealed battery. So I pulled the label off and opened it up, and I followed his instructions on how to do that and put it on a charger. And as you can see, there's no sun hitting my solar panel, so there's no charge going in there, but it's holding a 12.5, which is basically a full battery. And I've been using that battery for quite a while now. I may use those clips down there to hold it into place so it won't bounce around, but also one other thing I should mention is that little power inverter doesn't work. I'm going to have to replace that. I'll go to Harbor Freight and pick up another one. I might get the next size up because that's only a 400 to 800 watt. I want at least 1,000 watts, so if I'm going to be running my power drill, actually it's an impact drill, Makita, for drilling in when I'm prospecting. I can plug it in, and I'm going to run a cord out, and then right in this little area right here, I'll put an electrical box, a weather-tight electrical box that can just, on the inside it'll be an extension cord that will plug into the inverter, and on the outside I'll have a double 120 volt outlet. So I just have to lift the cover up from the seat here, reach inside and turn the switch on, and then I'll have power on the outside so I can run power tools out where I'm at. And also I've got to be careful because I don't want to connect that big battery to my little battery on my ATV. There's just way too many amps on it, and it'll burn the other one up in my electronics on my ATV. So those will never be connected together. But if I need to, I can use some jumpers to come off of those two little connectors that I put in there on the outside, and I can tap them onto those two, and without having to pull the seat and get down to the battery, and I can give it a jump if I have to, if I'm stuck somewhere. I can also, I've got alligator clips that go on the solar panel right here. As you can see, I was testing them to see which pole was positive and negative, and I put a jack right here where I can disconnect that. It just unplugs at that point. And if I need to, I can plug those alligator clips in and tie those on there and let this solar panel charge the ATV battery if necessary. That's all for today, everybody. Reminding you, if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you have, thank you very much. And click share and share it with some of your friends, family, relatives, whoever. Ask them to subscribe too. I'm shooting for that 5,000. I want to get 5,000. We're going up pretty good. I appreciate all the help you guys are giving me, and we'll get this thing going. Also, don't forget to give me a thumbs up down there. Click like on my videos. And if you haven't, when you did click subscribe, don't forget that there's a little bell icon right beside the word subscribe. And if you click on that, you'll get email notifications whenever I post a new video, so you won't miss out on anything. All right, GBear signing off.